Joey Swoll? Do we know who Joey Swoll is? I know. I have to rephrase this. Hold on. Even before we get there, we'll just back this up. Oh, you see this shirt? We'll Be Wild. This is some of the Viva Fry merch that's available on Viva Fry, but not the tie-dye version. The tie-dye version is what my kid made for me from the white shirt, which says We'll Be Wild, which was what Trump said about the protest occurring on January 6th. An exhibit that was used in the subsequent impeachment attempts. But if you want to go get some merch, go to vivafry.com. You want to support the channel. It's the easiest way to do it. You get to wear something. Everybody needs a coffee mug. Everybody needs, I don't say everybody needs a hat. I don't wear hats. Everybody needs shirts. Be a force multiplier. Vivafry.com. Go get some merch. And today, because we're using StreamYard, if you want to join the after party on vivabarneslaw.locals.com, it will not be behind a paywall because we're using StreamYard. So let me give you the link to Locals, and you can come. No paywall for the after party show today, and it's going to be fantastic, as it always is. Every stream, 3 o'clock on the Rumble lineup, is followed by a Locals after party, unless there's extraneous circumstances where I can't do it, and that's it. Joey Swoll, if you didn't know who he was, I guarantee you do know who he is. You just didn't know his name was Joey Swoll. Joey Swoll was a man who made a name for himself by commentating on people at the gym doing things that were improper. I've seen a bunch of them. They typically involve, I shouldn't say typically because I didn't see all of them. Oftentimes they involve, I think I've seen the ones I've seen, women doing things, recording themselves and then saying that men are looking at them badly, or people not using the weights properly. By way of one example of what Joey Swoll's content used to be before he apparently self-canceled, this is one such example of his fine, which his work, I did like his work. I mean, I think he stole my idea of getting behind the seat of a car and talking to a camera. This was the nature of the work that he used to do. Commenting on this video, which says, nobody here knows I play with my cat 7 times a day. What the? Jeez Louise. So I'm going to put that, I'm just going to lower that volume a whole. Themselves. Let me just turn the volume down. All right, so she's doing.
Nobody here knows I play with my you know what 7 times a day. No.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even get the perverted joke. Is she talking about pleasuring herself with her kitty? Sometimes I feel cynical, and then other times I feel like a total buffoon who misses the joke when I read it out loud. Okay, let's just see what Joey Swoll has to say here. Now I'm realizing what she's talking about. I'm such an idiot. Okay, never mind. Let's hear this.
Nobody here knows I play with my you know what 7 times a day. No, nor do they need to know or care or want to be in the background of a video where you talk about something inappropriate just like this.
It wasn't inappropriate for me until I realized it was intended to be inappropriate. Okay, sorry. I'll shut my big mouth now.
I mean, you have fitness in your name, yet your entire page is you over-sexualizing yourself, being inappropriate in the gym. There's even one video where you literally rub yourself on gym equipment. And all for what? Just so you can sell more subscriptions to your OF account. And I love the fact that everybody in the comments calls you out for it. And it's mostly women. So to this young woman, it's very obvious you have no self-respect or dignity. So at least have respect for other people in the gym. And if you can't, they should kick your ass out. You need to do better. Mind your own business.
His catchphrase was do better. I just want to actually point something out here. His teeth are impeccable. Very nice. That's Joey Swoll, people. You may or may not be familiar with his content, but I'm sure you've seen it. Now you are. His whole motto was do better. Joey Swoll seems to have been canceled by himself. It's so outrageous where I see a video and then I say, oh, that's funny. That was a good satire. He really kept a stone cold face. And then I find out it wasn't actually satire. Colin Rugg, amazing follow on Twitter. Give him a follow. Hold on, before we play it, I want to read what the post says. Colin Rugg says new fitness influencer Joey Swoll, quote, quits after bending the knee to the woke mob by apologizing for honoring Hulk Hogan after he passed. The gym positivity influencer tried backtracking, which clearly wasn't good enough. Swoll says he is now, quote, done. Quote, all the good I've done, I don't need to read what he says in the post because we're going to see it. I swear to you.
And all
Stop. I swear to you, I saw this post the first time and I'm like, dude can hold a stone cold face, deadpan face better than I could. Because I literally thought it was a joke. Didn't know what the controversy was. Didn't know Hulk Hogan required an apology if you wanted to pay a tribute to the death of a wrestling legend. Watch this video. I will shut my big mouth. Over on Locals, they say, Viva, just shut up for the 30 seconds you play the video and let it play. Then play it again and commentate if you have to. I will, because I do listen to constructive criticism. Listen to Joey Swoll, and you tell me that you didn't think this was straight up satire parody with a deadpan stone cold delivery.
I owe my followers, my community, and all of social media an apology. A few days ago, I reposted an old video of me in the gym wearing a Hulk Hogan Halloween costume on the day that he passed. Last night in my live stream, a lot of people expressed how upset and frustrated they were with me that I had posted that. Instead of listening and understanding like I should have, I became defensive and said that I was posting to celebrate the wrestling icon, the person that so many of us looked up to as kids that we grew up with, that made us tear our shirts and take our vitamins and say our prayers. I didn't know to the extent of all the horrible things that he had done. Since last night, I have done a lot of research, talked to a few people, and learned all of the horrible, horrible things that that man has done, which is way more than just making a mistake and being human. So because of that, I have taken the videos down, and I apologize to anybody that I offended. I am sorry. Also, during last night's live stream, I used the word colored instead of saying person of color, which is a very outdated, very offensive term. A few moments later, somebody educated me and told me that it wasn't okay to use that, which I immediately apologized to everyone and said I would never do that again. So once again, to anybody that I offended, I am sorry. My whole page, my whole brand is based on holding people accountable and doing better. I would be a hypocrite if I didn't hold myself to the same standards. I am human. I am still growing. I am still learning. And I promise all of you, I will do better. I have nothing but love and kindness in my heart. I will continue to try to make the world a better place. And once again, to everybody, I apologize.
Do you know how painful that is for me to sit there for a full 1 minute and 50 seconds and not interject? Let me go to the chat and just see what everyone thinks. Had you seen that before we found out it was, would you not have thought that that was straight up fake? I did some research and I didn't know that what Hulk Hogan had done was even worse than all the other stuff. And people educated me. Straight up re-education camp for Joey Swoll. This is the tweet on the side of the post on the side in which he seems to have, gone off the ledge. All the good I've done, all the people I've helped, all for nothing. When I need help, when I need kindness and empathy, nothing. I truly hope all the people I've inspired do great things in their life and pay it forward to help others. And I truly hope all the people I've inspired do great things in their life and pay it forward to help others and carry on my message. But no matter how much good you do, no matter how many people you help, they just wait for a reason to hate you and tear you down. It's true. You either die a hero or live long enough to be the villain. Thank you for your support. Please remember me and smile. I love you all. I am done. This makes me very nervous because this sounds very, very potentially sinister. I'll just say this up front. I don't have any animosity towards Joey. I think he's a victim of his own, call it, what's the word? Panic response. Like there's times where you do something like, holy shit, I've really just stepped in it. What do I do? And in panic, you make it exponentially worse. He stepped in shit, I guess, when he eulogized or showed his appreciation for the life and legend and lore of Hulk Hogan. He stepped in it. What he did after that was panic, run around the house, stomping it all over the house, beds, bathrooms, linen. He went into the closet and stepped on the linens with his poo-poo shoe instead of just waiting 24 hours and best assessing how to respond. Because the best way to respond, and Joey, come on my show, man, and we'll talk about this. because I don't have the slightest bit of animosity for you. I kind of feel bad that you did what you did, thinking it would placate the mob that was demanding that you bend the knee. But before we even get too far into that, what was this transgression? What was the transgression? This was the post, people. This was the post. Joey Swoll, rest in peace, RIP, to a legend and one of my inspirations to start working out, Hulk Hogan. There was a video there of him working out. I guess it's, I didn't get the video. I think he took it down. Heel versus Babyface said, did Joey Swoll leave social media because he was mad at the people that shamed him into taking down his Hulk Hogan tribute? Or at the people who called him out for bending the knee to him? I'm confused. And I say, imagine that this was the post at the heart of the controversy. Now, I'm, again, old enough to have lived through things, but I wasn't paying attention to the Hulk Hogan controversy back in 2015. I mean, I heard about, his sex tapes and the leak tapes there. Do you know what the controversy was about Hulk Hogan? I am not bringing this up to sully the, what's the word I'm looking for? The reputation, the dynasty of a dead man. I think it's absolutely insane that after his death, anybody would hold this against Hulk Hogan, let alone hold it against him in his life. Does everybody know what the controversy was about Hulk Hogan? Let's bring this up. Had to archive it. It goes so far back. July 24, 2025, 2015. Man, it's 10 years ago, basically to the week. Hulk Hogan apologizes for racial slur after losing WWE contract. Listen to this. World Wrestling Entertainment terminated the contract of Terry Bollea, better known as Hulk Hogan, on Friday after it was reported that he used a racial slur on videotape. First of all, there's a number of videotapes of him using a racial slur, the N-word with an A at the end, not the hard R, as we quote from a underrated comedy called Pop Star Keep On Keeping On. There's a lot of video of him using that word. And some might say you don't even get to use that word when it's used to show some sort of brotherly love with the people who are using it towards you who happen to be black. But we'll get to this here. According to a joint investigation by the National Enquirer and Radar Online, Bollea, 61, was caught on an unauthorized sex tape saying that he was, quote, a racist to a point. Do you know what's absolutely amazing about this? What's the word? The chat's going to help me out with this. There's a word for what it is to prefer your own member of your own tribes, so to speak. I'll say this straight up. I don't suffer from this. I'm a lone wolf to some extent, a loner, I guess. I don't like the brotherhood that comes with superficial traits of similarity. Oh, someone says, "Viva, well, you've got to have a community. You've got to identify as Jewish. And so you've got to feel more comfortable among your Jewish brethren." It's like, first of all, why that element? They'll say like, okay, you're white, Viva, so you might feel more comfortable living among white people. Maybe. Would I feel more comfortable living among white Canadians than, say, white Russians? Probably Canadians, just because we have more in common. So in which case, it's not really race. It's not really religion. It's something that you consider to be the overlapping element of a group of people when you want to live in a community. I forget what the word is. Let me just see if the chat is getting the word. Ethnocentrism is definitely not the word. I'll get the word in a sec. For him to say I'm racist to a point is actually a level of introspection and honesty that a great many people actually lack. There are people who are going to be too ashamed to say, yeah, I prefer to live in a community of people who share my cultural values. Whether or not that's specifically and only race-based, who knows? But some people would say considering to live among a community of shared interests, shared culture, shared history is a form of ism. The fact that Hulk can say this is a bit of introspection to say, yes, I appreciate that I have some biases internally. I'd rather my daughter marry a Jewish woman, a black man. I don't know what you would put in there, but it shows that he's honest and above all else, introspective. He followed the comment with an expletive and the N-word. The publications said the transcripts of the tape had been filed in a Florida court in an attempt to seal his words from the public, but that the tape's contents had been confirmed with several sources. In a statement from the WWE, the WWE said that it had terminated Bollea's contract, adding that the organization was, quote, committed to embracing and celebrating individuals from all backgrounds. Yeah, as you could see from the Hulk Hogan's life of celebrating the exact same thing. The idea you get these, you get these secret tapes. I don't know, lawfully or unlawfully. I'm fairly certain it was unlawful in the case of the sex tapes. And then try to hold it against the person to use it to destroy their lives. A, I know they'll have these clauses of moral turpitude in their contracts. I don't agree with this level of cancellation for something someone might have said, thinking they were in the private, depending on the severity of what they said. When they stripped John Jones of his record because he broke the law outside of the ring, bullcrap. Okay, the work and the accomplishments of him in the ring should not be and cannot be erased. And I think the WWE here were the cowards who themselves deserved a bit of pushback from their audience. The sex tape had been part of a battle over privacy after it was leaked to a one. Here we go. The disclosure of racist language has further tarnished Belaya's image as an all-American wrestling star, whose Hulk Hogan character won several championships and at one point defines an era of wrestling with Hulkamania. I guess we're all a little racist, he is reported to have said on the tape. Who would disagree with that? Depending on what your understanding of racist is. We like to live among people of shared values, shared culture, shared identity, shared history. Is that a ism? While discussing his suspicions that his daughter Brooke had been intimate with a black man. In an interview for the 30th anniversary Hulkamania 2014, Belaya told WWE he hoped his character would remain immortal. 8 years ago, I used offensive language during a conversation, Mr. Belaya said. It was unacceptable for me to have used that offensive language. There is no excuse for it, and I apologize for having done it. Destroy a man for the rest of his life. Erase all the good that he's ever done because you illegally obtained some secret recording where in a moment of whatever, he might have said something that he sincerely regretted. What I love is that in that insane Joey Swoll apology, he says, I used the term colored person, and I didn't know that that was outdated and offensive. The term is person of color. Can you believe the level of retardation that it requires to actually believe that crap? This is my meme. I think it's a damn good one, if I do say so myself. The, quote, progressive left are legit retarded. Colored person, bad. Person of color, good. Here's the idea. If one is bad, both are bad. If the latter is good, both are good, period. If you think person of color is acceptable, you think colored person is acceptable as a term. If you don't think colored person is acceptable and you think it's racist, what could be more racist than reducing a person to a color? I am old school. I'll just say black and white. I'm not sure that I'm yet down using the brown because I do find that that's sort of linguistically improper since we're all, I think, basically shades of brown. But I'll use black and white. Yeah, technically they're not black and technically I'm not white. I'm more beige and they're more darker pigmentation. We'll go with black and white, not even African American, because I think that in and of itself is also problematic. Not all black Americans are African American. Not all blacks in Canada are African American, unless you want to consider them African North American. The bottom line, Joey Swoll has bent the knee, apologized. He was not forgiven by the people to whom he apologized because they don't want to forgive. They want you to be subservient. Whether or not Joey Swoll understood that, whether or not he thought he was doing the right thing and that they would forgive him, whether or not he reacted out of a moment of panic and thought in that delusional moment that that was the right thing to do, now he's suffering the consequences from both sides. The left, progressive racists, fundamentally, because that's what they are. They don't care about race unless they get to use it for political profit. When he bent the knee to them, and now the right, or people with principles who say, what the hell are you apologizing for, you raging sissy? My response would have been, go F yourself. Oh my goodness, you want me to apologize for paying tribute to an objective legend in his domain because a decade ago, someone illegally got recording of him, however longer it was before that, using an offensive term, which I think is actually just a level of introspection that many racists, actual racists, are incapable of applying. You want me to apologize for that? Take your subscription, take your like, take your follower, roll it on a nice piece of paper, and hide it where the sun don't shine. Would have been my response. Or just nothing. Don't even entertain the stupidity and move on. As it is right now, Joey Swoll has gotten it from both ends. I don't want to say he deserves it. I genuinely feel bad for the guy, and it genuinely sounds like he's in a bad situation. And I hope it doesn't amount to anything more serious than that, but he done screwed up. Not because of what he did in paying tribute to the death of a man who not just accomplished more. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. And I say, judge not lest ye be judged doesn't mean don't judge. It just means judge others the way you want them to judge you. Someone has a secret recording of you saying the worst thing you've ever said in your entire life, doing the worst thing you've ever done in your entire life. You want someone judging you by that worst moment ever? You want to reward people who go through criminal means and secretly record and or disclose secret recordings illegally? You want to reward that? Get bent. And that's what Joey Swoll should have told his audience. And Joey, if you want to come on, come on. We can still make this good and we can still make this right. It was a moment of rash panic. You didn't know what you were doing and you apologize for having apologized. Tell him to go suck a lemon.